In the silence of our bustling world, a whisper of solitude grows louder. We are alone more than any human in time. Welcome to our exploration of loneliness, an intricate landscape we all navigate at certain points in our lives. It's a solitary journey that, in its own peculiar way, unites us all. Loneliness as a concept is as old as humanity itself. It's a universal experience that transcends borders, cultures, and generations. It's a silent companion that accompanies us through life, lurking in the shadows of our happiest moments and stepping into the spotlight in our darkest hours. From the dawn of civilization, humans have grappled with the concept of loneliness. It has been a subject of contemplation for philosophers, a muse for artists, and a point of analysis for psychologists. They have viewed it through different lenses, providing us with a multi-layered understanding of this complex emotion. Philosophically, loneliness has been seen as an existential challenge, a solitary voyage through the vast ocean of life. It was the Greeks who first introduced the concept of monaxia, the state of being alone, as a vital part of the human experience. It's a state that can inspire profound introspection or lead to deep despair, depending on how we choose to confront it. Psychologically, loneliness is not merely the absence of company, it's the absence of connection, the hunger for meaningful interaction. It's an emotional state that can lead to a cascade of mental health issues like depression, anxiety, and stress. It's a silent epidemic that affects millions of people around the world, often with devastating consequences. But the story of loneliness is not all doom and gloom. It's also a call to action, a prompt to seek connection, to reach out, to engage with the world around us. It's a journey we all walk, but we don't have to walk it alone. As we delve deeper into this exploration of loneliness, we hope to shed light on its many facets, to help us understand it, confront it, and ultimately overcome it. Loneliness, a concept as old as humanity, has been a subject of contemplation for philosophers and a point of analysis for psychologists. It's a state that can inspire profound introspection or lead to deep despair. Philosophically, loneliness has been seen as an existential challenge. It's a universal sentiment that transcends cultural, temporal, and geographical boundaries, a shared human condition that has been deeply explored by philosophers across the ages. The existentialists, for instance, have a profound understanding of loneliness, viewing it as a fundamental aspect of the human condition. Jean-Paul Sartre, a French philosopher, asserted that, if you're lonely when you're alone, you're in bad company. This pithy statement encapsulates his belief that solitude can be a gateway to self-discovery. For Sartre, loneliness is an inevitable byproduct of our freedom and our inherent separation from others. It's a space where we confront our own naked existence, a place where we can explore our authentic selves without the influence of societal expectations. In a similar vein, Albert Camus, another French philosopher and a contemporary of Sartre, saw loneliness as an inescapable aspect of human life. He believed that we are all fundamentally alone in our search for meaning in a silent, indifferent universe. Yet, it is in this very loneliness that we find our freedom, our ability to rebel against the absurdity of existence and create our own meaning. While Sartre and Camus offer a somewhat bleak perspective on loneliness, they also provide a sense of empowerment. They propose that loneliness, while uncomfortable, is a necessary condition for self-awareness and personal growth. It allows us to confront the harsh realities of existence, to question, to doubt, and ultimately, to grow. Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, offers a more optimistic perspective. He viewed loneliness not as a pit of despair, but as an opportunity for transformation. His experiences in Nazi concentration camps led him to develop logotherapy, a form of psychotherapy that focuses on the search for meaning in life. For Frankl, meaning is the antidote to loneliness. Even in the most dire circumstances, he believed that a sense of purpose could provide solace and strength. Rather than seeing loneliness as a dead end, Frankl saw it as a catalyst for introspection and self-discovery. It's an invitation to delve into the depths of our being, to grapple with our existential anxieties, and to emerge with a renewed sense of purpose. To combat loneliness, Frankl suggests that we must find meaning in our lives. This could be through work, through love, or through courage in the face of suffering. The key is to embrace our loneliness, to use it as a tool for self-discovery and growth. In conclusion, philosophers like Sartre, Camus, and Frankl offer a nuanced perspective on loneliness. They suggest that loneliness, while often seen as a negative state, can also be a powerful catalyst for self-discovery and personal growth. Viktor Frankl, who found meaning amidst the horrors of the Holocaust, argued that purpose could be a balm for loneliness, a way to transform suffering into a source of strength. Psychologically, loneliness is not simply the absence of others, it's the absence of connection, the hunger for meaningful interaction. It's a profound human experience that can cast a long shadow on our mental and emotional well-being. It's not the solitude itself that harms, but the distress it can cause. Loneliness can be a silent tormentor, a quiet echo in the corners of our minds that amplifies over time. It's like a slow poison, seeping into our thoughts and feelings, coloring our world with shades of despair and emptiness. It's a feeling of being adrift in a sea of people, disconnected and unseen. From a psychological perspective, chronic loneliness can be a significant stressor, one that can trigger a cascade of negative effects. It's been linked to a range of mental health issues, including depression and anxiety. The isolation can create a cycle of negative thoughts and feelings that feed into each other, creating a self-perpetuating cycle of loneliness and mental distress. The feelings of loneliness can also lead to a heightened sense of vulnerability, making us more susceptible to fear and anxiety. It can distort our perceptions, making us believe that we are more alone than we actually are, that others are less interested in us than they actually are. This can further isolate us, pushing us deeper into the clutches of loneliness. Moreover, loneliness can also have physical impacts. Studies have shown that it can affect our sleep patterns, our immune function, and even our cardiovascular health. It's not just a state of mind, it's a state of being that can affect us profoundly and pervasively. As we navigate the digital age, this issue has taken on a new dimension. We live in a time where we are more connected than ever before, yet we feel more alone than ever. We can reach out to anyone, anywhere, at any time, yet we often find ourselves yearning for a more profound, more meaningful connection. The digital world gives us an illusion of connectivity. We can have 1,000 friends on social media, yet feel utterly alone. We can be part of 100 groups, yet feel like we belong nowhere. It's like being in a crowded room, yet feeling completely isolated. The constant barrage of images and updates can make us feel like we are on the outside looking in, like everyone else is living a perfect life while we are alone in our struggles. This can exacerbate our feelings of loneliness, making us feel more isolated and disconnected. The modern digital age, with its illusion of connectivity, often exacerbates our sense of isolation, leaving us yearning for genuine human contact. It's a paradox of our time, a challenge that we must address as we navigate the complexities of our interconnected yet isolated world. But how do we combat this silent adversary? The answer lies in connection, real, meaningful human connection. It's not about how many people you know, but how well you know them. It's not about how often you're surrounded by others, but how often you feel seen, heard, and understood by them. Now let's dive into some strategies. The first is reaching out to others. Yes, it can be daunting, especially when feelings of loneliness have settled in, but think about it. Have you ever felt annoyed or put off when a friend reached out to you just to say hi or to check up on you? More often than not, people appreciate the effort. It reminds them that they matter to someone else. Next, we have self-care, which is not just about bubble baths and scented candles. Although if that's your thing, go for it. Self-care is about recognizing your needs and taking steps to meet them. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion you'd show to a good friend. It's realizing that you too deserve your own care and attention. Another strategy is volunteering. It's a way to not only give back to your community, but also to feel a sense of belonging in it. It's about realizing that even in your loneliness, you have something valuable to offer others. You have skills, talents, time, and a perspective that is uniquely your own. And in sharing these with others, you might just find that sense of connection you've been craving. Finally, there's nurturing relationships. This isn't just about maintaining relationships, but actively working to deepen them. It's about opening up, being vulnerable, and letting others in. It's about not just being there for others, but allowing them to be there for you. Now, these strategies are not a one-size-fits-all solution. What works for one person might not work for another, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep trying, to keep reaching out, to keep caring for yourself, to keep giving, and to keep connecting. Remember, it's not about how many friends you have on social media, but how many people you feel close to in real life. It's not about how many parties you're invited to, but how many moments of genuine connection you experience. And while these strategies might not eradicate loneliness entirely, they can help to alleviate it. They can help you feel more connected, more seen, more understood, and ultimately, less alone. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's not about never feeling lonely, but about knowing what to do when you do. It's about understanding that loneliness is not a personal failing, but a universal human experience. So if you're feeling lonely, know that you're not alone in that feeling. Know that it's okay to reach out, to take care of yourself, to give back, and to cultivate deeper relationships. Know that it's okay to crave connection and to seek it out. Strategies to combat loneliness include reaching out to others, engaging in self-care, volunteering, and nurturing relationships. It's about creating moments of connection that remind us we're not alone. You're not alone in your loneliness, and in reaching out, in connecting, you remind others that they're not alone either. Together we can navigate the landscapes of loneliness, one connection at a time. As we conclude, remember that loneliness is a shared human experience. This simple yet profound reality is a thread that weaves through the tapestry of our existence. It's a universal truth, one that transcends boundaries and unites us in our shared humanity. We've journeyed through the philosophical perspectives on loneliness, delving into the minds of thinkers like Sartre, Camus, and Frankl. We've explored the idea of loneliness as an existential challenge, a rite of passage in our quest for meaning in an indifferent universe. We've glimpsed the freedom that comes from this isolation, the opportunity it presents to forge our identities and to find purpose in the midst of our solitary journeys. We've also delved into the psychological impact of loneliness, dissecting this complex emotion to reveal its true nature. It's not merely the absence of others, it's the absence of connection, a hunger for meaningful interaction. We've seen how this state can lead to a myriad of mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. We've also seen how the illusion of connectivity in our digital age can often exacerbate our sense of isolation, leaving us yearning for genuine human contact. But we've also explored strategies to combat this silent adversary. We've discovered that the answer lies in connection, real, meaningful, human connection. It's about quality, not quantity. It's about depth, not breadth. We've discussed reaching out to others, engaging in self-care, volunteering, and nurturing relationships. We've emphasized the importance of creating moments of connection that remind us we're not alone. And now, as we draw to a close, let's reiterate a vital point. Loneliness is not a solitary battle. It's a shared human experience. It's a call to seek connection, to reach out, to engage with the world around us. It's a journey we all walk, but we don't have to walk it alone. When we pause to listen, we hear the echo of our own feelings in the experiences of others. We realize that our loneliness is not unique, that there are others who feel the same way we do. And in that realization, we find solace, we find strength. So, if this exploration of solitude has spoken to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might find comfort in our shared understanding. Encourage them to reach out, to connect, to remember that they're not alone. And as you go forth, remember this. In the vastness of our solitude, we are together. We are united in our shared experiences, our shared struggles, and our shared triumphs. We are bound by the threads of our humanity, woven together in a tapestry of connection and understanding. Subscribe for more reflections on the human condition, and remember, in the vastness of our solitude, we are together.